Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, YouTube. Today, I wanted to talk about meditation and why it's something I personally do, and why I also believe it's something that you may find useful in your own life. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. What is meditation? I believe the easiest way to define it is spending a small amount of time intentionally to focus on a specific action or specific task that will then benefit you the rest of the day. Now, I may not have said that completely correctly, but let's go with it. So, spending a small amount of time on a specific task that then the rest of the day it will benefit you on. With the definition, many things can be meditation. And I don't think there's a better way for me to explain it to you than to just tell you my own. Show you what I do for meditation and why I do them. So, what do I do for meditation personally? I do 3 separate things. The first one is prayer, the second one is breath work, and the third one is journaling. So, in the morning, I do prayer and breath work, and then in the evening, I do prayer and journaling. And I'll explain why I do them in that specific order. So, let's just go right in. I do prayer in the morning as a meditation. The first thing I do when I wake up, or at least the first thing I try to do when I wake up, is be grateful. I try to immediately upon waking thank God for the fact that I've woken up that day, to thank Him for letting me breathe. Because every day is truly a gift. No day you go to sleep you're owed to wake up the next day. At any day you could have a heart attack, you could have an aneurysm, there could be a number of things that cause you to just not wake up after your 8, 6, 5, 4, 3 hours of sleep. I don't know how much sleep you get. You probably get like 2 hours of sleep, who knows. People don't get enough sleep. But, regardless of all that, there are many things that can cause you not to wake up in the middle of the night. You could die by a myriad of things. And I think it's important to be appreciative when you wake up in the morning that God let you live, that God let you wake up to experience another day. So I try to start off my morning just being thankful to Him. Oftentimes it can be a short thank you. Sometimes it can be a quick prayer of just thanking Him for different things that come into my mind throughout, that He did for me yesterday or that, I'm asking Him to do today. It's just a minute, maybe 30 seconds, maybe it's just thank you God for letting me wake up this morning. I never make it complicated. And prayer doesn't have to be. It's simply just communication with God. It's talking to Him like you talk to a friend or a father. Now, the second one I do is breath work. I commonly do the Wim Hof method of breathing. I believe it's also called cyclic hyperventilation. Might be wrong. I stole that from Andrew Huberman, so, I may have gotten the name mixed up. It's commonly referred to as the Wim Hof method. I'll put a description down below to stuff explaining the method. I'll give a quick explanation here, but I want to go deeper into it, but I do want to do that in a separate video because I don't want to draw this one out talking about all that, and there's still a little more research I have to do on it. But as a quick, tutorial, quick overview of what it is. It is 20 to 30 very deep inhales and exhales. You breathe in all the way, out all the way. As Wim defines it, is you breathe in a circle. You just go in and out, in and out, in and out. You do that 20 to 30 times, and then you breathe out and hold with empty lungs for 1, 2, 3 minutes, as long as you can go before you feel that you need to breathe again. Not to the point where it hurts, but it's amazing after those deep breaths how long you can actually hold your breath. So you go for about, 2 minutes, and then you breathe back in and hold that for another 20 seconds. And that's one cycle. It's 20 to 30 deep breaths, breathe out and hold for 2 minutes, or 3, and then deep breath in and hold that for another 20 seconds. And I'll try to do 3 cycles of that. Some days I only get 1 cycle in. It's something that I believe does have a lot of health benefits to it. And like I said, I do want to make a video separately dedicated to that. But for now, I'll just have stuff in the description below, just talking about the method and a little bit more on it. And I can even link Wim's actual video on how to perform the method. So, that's what I do for the morning. I try to keep it simple. It takes maybe 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes to do all that. There are days when I don't have time. In that case, I will skip the breathing method. In that case, I will just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And it's a way for me to be thankful for my life. Taking a deep breath in the morning just reminds me that I'm alive. It's one of those things that I find incredibly calming to do. So that's all I do for the morning. Then I get on with my day. Now, for the evening, what I do is I try to do my nightly prayers, which is a little bit more organized. I have stuff I've written down I want to pray to God about. I have stuff, either things I want to be thankful for, some praises. I have prayers for things for myself, for friends, family members. It really varies on how long it takes. I like it as just spending time with God, just me and Him, just talking to Him, and it's one of those things that just I need it, and I think everyone needs it more than they know, to connect with God in prayer. And it's something that, it takes an arbitrary amount of time. Some nights it takes a couple minutes. Some nights I'm praying for a long time. I never pray enough though. I'm never connected to God as much as I should be. But that's a result of being human. I'll most of the time do that as the last thing I do before bed. So I guess I went a little out of order. Before that, I try to journal. Now, my method of can't talk. My method of journaling is a bit different from most people's journals. If you were to look in my journal, you would see a bunch of blank pages. There's nothing written in here. Every time I write a page in my journal, I rip it out. I'll explain why. So, I don't just journal my thoughts like someone would regularly make a diary. I do a method that I ran across on The Art of Manliness, and I'll link all the stuff in the description below as well. It's a method of journaling that was used by, I believe it's some old Greek and Roman philosophers. So, it's a method called a daily self-exam. And what it is you ask yourself 3 questions. At the end of the day, you think back on everything that you did throughout that day. And you ask yourself, where have I transgressed? What have I accomplished? And what duty have I neglected? You go through your entire day, and you say, okay, what did I transgress? What did I do wrong? What did I intentionally do that was evil, sinful, just downright wrong? How was I just an absolute scoundrel? You write that down, brief description, or detailed, it doesn't really matter. Then you write down, well, what have I accomplished? You write down the things you did actually correct during the day, things that you did good, maybe ways you helped people. Then you write down, what duty have I neglected? You look at the stuff that maybe you didn't do intentionally wrong, but stuff that you were lazy on. Stuff that you knew you should have done, but you didn't. Little things, little sins, little foxes that spoil the vine. Things that you let slip. And then once you've written all that down, which it doesn't take very long, you don't have to write it intensely. It's mostly about thinking about it. I write all that stuff down, and then I tear out the page. And then I get rid of it. I throw it out, I shred it, you could burn it, do whatever you want. I got a nice little paper shredder. Works good for me. I do it as a method of recalling the events of the day and then leaving them in the past. As I believe it was said on the Art of Manliness' website, which is an amazing website, and it's not only for dudes. Women can look at it too. But most of the topics there are focused towards men and focused towards some struggles that might be individual towards men, and just being, living a disciplined and intentional life, mostly, is the best way I could define it. But on there, the way it was said, I believe, is that when you have to bring your daily actions before a judge, you will consider your actions more carefully. That was not an exact quote, but that's the principle of it. When I know, at the end of the day, I have to bring my actions before writing them in the book, before a judge of my own mind and praying them to God, I think about my actions through the day more. And that's going to lead me into what I want to talk about next, is the thing I talked about at the very beginning. The point of meditation. It's a small amount of time that brings to your attention things throughout the day. It takes a few minutes to write stuff down in the book at the end of the day. But in doing that, I'm reminded of it throughout the day. I'm reminded throughout the day that I'm going to have to account for what I'm doing. And same with the breath work, same with the breathing in the morning. By intentionally breathing, intentionally doing something focused on my health first thing in the morning, it makes me think about my health later throughout the day. Things I might eat, things I might do, just different ways I'm acting. It brings it into my conscious awareness throughout the day. Combined, all these things I do for meditation take under a half an hour out of the day. Everybody has that amount of time. I don't care what you're doing throughout the day. Right now, you're watching a YouTube video. We have the time to do these things. We have the time to pray. We have the time to read our Bibles. We just choose to use it for different things. We choose to be unintentional in our lives. We live our lives on autopilot. And that's what meditation helps me do, is live my life off of autopilot. So, by starting the day with prayer in the morning, I'm immediately focused on the Lord. I'm focused on what is important in my life, who I'm serving. I do the breath work to remind myself I'm alive, to just appreciate the fact of breathing, to focus on my health. And then at night, I recall the actions of my day, try to stay disciplined, try to just live a more intentional life. And then I ended out with prayers again, just reminding myself of why I'm here and who I serve. So, maybe this was just a ramble. Hopefully you got something from this. That's just what I define as meditation and how it helps me throughout my life. I've always thought that meditation was something that people don't consider or try because they have a skewed view on what it is. You can hear meditation and you might think of like a monk on a hill, or some Buddhist just sitting in, however they sit, legs crossed, just, thinking about nothing or becoming a fly or whatever. When truly, I think it is something completely different. It is something about just being intentional with your life. And in the Psalms, David even talks about meditating on the Word of God. The meditation can be a lot of different things, but whatever you choose it to be, it is intentional. And it will show you where your focus is. And we should all be putting our focus on the Lord first. And that's that. So, thanks for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. And Lord willing, I will see you all later. Oh, and everything else is going to be in the description that you need to see links and whatnot. And like I said, I want to do a video on the Wim Hof Method specifically, but I don't have that done yet. And knowing me, it'll probably be quite a while that I'm neglecting it, being lazy. So when I get it, I will have it in the description below. But until then, it's going to be not in the description. So anyway, Lord willing, I will see you all later.